the framework for your initial conversation with personal injury attorneys, right? You worked hard, you did your marketing, they agreed to meet you for lunch, they agreed to meet you for a Zoom call. How does that conversation need to go? Well, if it's a live in-person meeting, I recommend you hop out of your chair, greet them with a handshake, and just start telling a story. Like, own the meeting from the get-go. Oh, hey, Attorney Jones, it's so nice to meet you. Man, what a night I've had. I got both my kids here from college. My mom was also visiting. I had to make sure she got her meds because, she's had some health problems. I had to get my kids, we had to get them transportation, so they wanted to go to the airport for spring break. And then, last week was Valentine's Day, and I just got my wife's car detailed. That was her Valentine's Day present. Her car was a mess, and surprise, it was a really unique gift. So when you start talking, you're sending signals to that attorney that you're a family man, you've got kids, you're married, you're involved with your family by doing all these things. So you're really setting the tone to that meeting, and you're sharing a positive personal story with enthusiasm and professionalism to make a strong first impression, right? So, introduce yourself, tell a little personal, professional story about yourself with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. That's how you own the meeting. So that's the first part of this meeting with the attorney. The second one is 80% of the conversation is just getting to know the attorney. Don't talk about you so much. We're going to get there. Like, hey, Mr. Attorney, like, where are you from? Where did you go to undergrad? Maybe they went to a college that maybe a friend of yours went to or your wife went. You never know. Like, ask them. I'm in Atlanta. Hey, are you a Falcons fan? Did you follow the Braves last year? Are you getting excited about the Braves' upcoming season? Do you have kids? How old are they? Oh, they're young, 5 and 8. Awesome. Do they play t-ball? Do they play soccer? Like, what are your kids into? Do they play a musical instrument? So really 80% of the conversation is just building rapport and establishing a connection beyond business. We're going to get to business. But again, this is a relationship, right? When you had a relationship with your significant other, you didn't just talk about all business. Like, what do you do for work? Tell me all about that, right? It's, where did you go to school? Where are you from? What do you do for work? Building some rapport and understanding, a little bit about them, right? So 80% of it is getting to know the attorney. So that's 80% of the conversation. The next part is the shop talk. So 20% is, now we're going to talk some business. So what do these attorneys want to know, right? What are their pain points? Well, the first one, and this is a big one, you're going to tell them, Mr. Attorney, you send me a client, I'm going to quarterback this case for you. What I mean by that is if you send me a client and we're treating them like I'm a chiropractor, we're going to treat them conservatively. If we can't get them out of pain in 30 or 45 days, we're going to make a proper referral. Maybe they need an injection from an interventional pain doc for pain, or maybe on a DTI scan, on their MRI, their DTI, there's some involvement. We may want to send them to a neurologist. We see a massive disc bulge that they may be a surgical candidate. We're going to send them to an orthopedic spine surgeon consultation. But before we do that, we're always going to communicate with you to make sure that you have a nice relationship with the physicians that we want to send your client to. So that's the first thing, is you're going to quarterback this case for that. Okay. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to talk about, your clinical excellence, but talk about it in terms that are going to help the attorney. This is what I mean by that. Just don't list off your list of services. Oh, we do chiropractic, mechanical traction, muscle stim, ultrasound. We have, spinal disc distraction. Don't talk about your services. Talk about the benefits of those services. How do these services benefit the attorney in terms of personal injury? For example, I'm going to say something like, well, Mr. Attorney, we're just not a sprain strain clinic. Yeah, most of the clients are going to have sprain strains, whiplash. We understand that, but we're going to go a little deeper in our diagnoses. In other words, we're going to check for other injured ligaments in the cervical spine. We have a special way of taking lateral flexion extension views. We have them evaluated by a third party, and they generate a report. They say, hey, they've got ligaments, injured, damaged ligaments from this accident. There's 20 ligaments in each motion segment. It's not just the disc, that one main ligament. There's 20 in each motion segment. So we can help you and help the patient by diagnosing more than just whiplash and sprain strain. It could be complicated by ligament instability at multiple levels. And you see, Mr. Attorney, the more objective evidence that we can find is going to help increase the value of the case. Attorneys like that. Now you're talking about pain points. They want maximum value in this case. Okay? Another thing, Mr. Attorney, I know a lot of people don't do this in this space. We're going to evaluate every one of our patients for a possible concussion. 50% of these concussions are missed in emergency rooms, and we have a screening process that can indicate if your client has had a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, or a concussion, right? And our protocol meets the Daubert challenge, meaning, Mr. Attorney, when it lands on your desk, you can take it to depositions in court and get policy limits because we have our protocol evaluated by a medical neuropsych. A medical neuropsych is going to meet with your client if they have a potential TBI or concussion to validate the objective findings we have with our TBI protocol. All you need to know about the Daubert challenge or the Daubert standard is that when it lands on the attorney's desk, he can take it to court and take it all the way to get maximum policy limits or pop policy limits. Attorneys like that too. When you start talking about policy limits and popping policy limits, now you're addressing pain points of the attorney. Again, this is 20% of the conversation. Maybe you want to bring a report about your ligament instability and all the references it has, the medical references about why this is necessary. Or maybe the report from your medical neuropsych if you're doing this type of work to show them all the diagnoses, because a TBI is an event that doesn't heal in 90 days like a sprain strain. Somebody with a TBI may have symptoms that last for 5, 10, or 15 years. So the attorney, if they know how to handle a TBI case, can hire a certified life care planner. A certified life care planner can interview the patient, interview the family members, interview the coworkers, and of course, interview all the medical providers, and generate a 30-page report based on these findings to say, hey, this person has a significant TBI. They're going to need 10 years of physical therapy. They're going to need some interventional pain injections. They're going to need some neuropsych evaluations over the next 10 years. So we're asking for future medicals to pay for this care of about $350,000. Plus, they have $150,000 in musculoskeletal bills from chiropractic, physical therapy, and orthopedic and interventional pain. And we're asking for $500,000 of pain and suffering punitive damages because your client gave my client a concussion because of this accident. Now you are helping an attorney get a $1.3 million settlement on a soft tissue case by sending it to you because you have this incredible value driver of the TBI protocol. So that's your shop talk, right? Talk about the value drivers. Hey, Mr. Attorney, we do this, and this, we do this, because it's going to do benefit 1, benefit 2, and benefit 3 for you, right? Talk about the benefits of your services, not just your services. All right. So that's 80% personal, 20% shop talk. And then you're also going to talk about negotiation. What happens at the end of the case? Mr. Attorney, listen, I want this to be a long-term relationship. I understand that sometimes you're going to ask me to take a reduction. And as long as you're transparent with me and I understand that everyone's being treated fairly, I'm going to work with you on the billing and the case management, right? And secondly, maybe you need something. On this case, just ask me, just what do you need? Mr. Attorney, tell me what you need. Perhaps I can provide it. And again, we're going to offer to provide you all the necessary documentation, all the notes on the case whenever you want, but just be transparent with me and we'll have this, we want to be a long-term partner. I understand I may have to take a haircut here and there, but as long as you're transparent with me and give me a valid reason why, I want to work with you, man. So negotiation and transparency at the end is really key. Okay. Now, after you have a Zoom call or a lunch, whatever your meeting is, do this one thing because nobody does it. Send them a thank you note, a handwritten thank you note, folded in an envelope, addressed with a stamp in the U.S. mail. Nobody does this anymore, and it's such a nice gesture. And I know I talked yesterday about a blue ocean strategy. This is something that nobody is doing, right? And it just gets your name, your put your business card in it too. It puts your name, your URL, your logo. It puts it in front of them one more time. And these attorneys are just used to getting hate mail, lawsuits, bar complaints, problems with their clients. How nice is it to get a thank you note just for having lunch and meeting you, right? It really does go a long way. And just be willing to do something that most people are not willing to do. So that's my framework for your initial visit, your initial meeting with an attorney. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. I produce a long form video in personal injury every single week to help you grow and just break through your barriers. Maybe you're stuck at 10 to 15 PI patients a month and you just can't get to that 20 or 25. I'm here to help you do that with a massive action plan of relationship marketing, because there are just thousands of PI attorneys in your market. Dominate the meeting at the beginning with a lot of energy, enthusiasm, professionalism, telling a personal story about yourself, about you're a family man, what makes you tick. One of our staff member just had a baby. I just wrapped the gift and sent it to her today. She's going to be off for the next 6 weeks. You care about your employees. Give them a reason to do some business with you. And then 80% of the conversation is just asking them questions. Tell me about your spouse. Do you have kids? How old are they? Are they in college? Are they young? 80% of the conversation is just going to be getting to know them, and then 20% is the shop talk. Sharing your value drivers, how you can benefit them from your services, and how you're going to work with them. But as long as you're transparent, we're going to have a nice relationship together. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your day.